Well, for much of the country, schools started with COVID mandates in the past. But that's not the case for Head Start programs. It's one of the few education initiatives the government oversees, and it's keeping outdated guidelines in place for our nation's youngest. Joining us now, two mothers speaking out. Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody and author of Wake, Sleepy One, Lisa Kerr. Thank you both for being with us. Ashley, I'd love to start with you, or actually let me come to you in just one moment about what exactly we can do about this problem. But first, let's define this problem if we can. Lisa, tell me what's going on with these children still having to cover their faces.
Sure. So I have 4 children who attend Head Start, and it's really more of a mandatory situation right now. So they're being forced to wear their masks in the classroom, with the exception of eating and napping.
What's the justification, Lisa?
I've reached out to the local site, and they said that they were basically being compliant to federal policies from the Office of Head Start.
Office of Head Start federal policies. Ashley, let me share this with you. This is a statement. Head Start COVID-19 requirements will apply to over 1 million children and 225,000 staff members and teachers. That's to quantify this problem. I mentioned in the outset, not only do we know you as Florida's Attorney General, but you're a mother. So first, from your perspective as a mother, I mean, I can't imagine sending my kid to school today with his face covered.
Well, that's why I was so passionate about pushing back on this in court. When I heard that young children, as young as 2 years old, would have to mask all day, even while outside, I told my team we have to be at the precipice of pushing back on this. We filed suit, not surprisingly, because it was unlawful and immoral at the time. The court gave an injunction. They issued an injunction. So in all of the states where you have attorneys general that said, this cannot happen, we will not allow this insane federal policy that's going to wreck child development to be applied in our states. There's an injunction in place right now. In states where you don't have leadership, like in Florida with Governor DeSantis and me in court, you are left with this federal mandate out there that in Head Start programs, and remember what Head Start is. It's a federally funded early learning opportunity for low-income families, which primarily helps minority families. And those are pretty much the only children now that are having to mask all day, and those are exactly the children we need to be looking at faces while their teachers are speaking, understanding and how to communicate. So this injunction gets in place. I push back months later saying this is not fair to the rest of the children in this nation where they don't have leadership to push back on these insane policies. I led an effort by 22 states to seek the federal government say, yes, okay, this is an unlawful policy, we'll stop. Oh no. Today, they are still fighting us in court to say we want this policy in place. They're still filing pleadings, even though a judge has said this is unlawful. And even though now, not only is it unlawful, it's reprehensible to the well-being and opportunity for these young children from these communities.
You can hear the passion in your voice, Ashley. Here's what they're saying, by the way, at the Department of Health and Human Services. On Monday, August 22nd, 2022, OHS sent a reminder to all Head Start grantees that it will continue with the same approach and not evaluate compliance with the mask requirement as we begin the new program year. Lisa, you heard, look, the primary demographics that are affected by this are low socioeconomic children, minority children. I don't know how many of those affect or describe your family, but regardless, your family's been targeted because of their attendance to Head Start programs. How does that feel to be among the very, very few left in this country to be targeted by a policy that is clearly at this point punitive and unscientific?
So it's interesting because I was actually a grant writer for the parent organization, which is how my children enrolled in Head Start in the first place. So we were an over-income family, but we're amongst, foster youth and, of course, different demographics. And so it's just really interesting to see them being treated differently. And truly, like, where does the parent go for feedback? That's been my main issue since they enrolled in November of last year, is why does it take legal action for something to be modified? I really just don't understand that.
And we'll find out. Hopefully, we will be following along with Ashley. We will find out if legal action is going to quite honestly save these children. Thank you for your efforts, Attorney General Ashley Moody, and thank you for being on with us this morning, Lisa Kerr.
Thank you.
Sure.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.